Hello my friends and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from DadX, and today we're going to have a look at a gate camp I found. Luckily I'm flying in my sub 2 second alpha in Cursus. 4 inertial stabilizers, 1 low friction nozzle joint and some cargo bay expanders, and I've got myself a speedy little ship that has bought some very nice loot out of low sec, and now that's on sale I'm heading back in. Straight from Stackmon to Austin Gale, my usual gateway into the little low sec area where I like to lurk. And what I basically came across, as you're about to see, is a gate camp, and it struck me that it's a very good, almost textbook gate camp, certainly in terms of composition. And I thought it might be interesting to some of you guys, whether you want to know about the gate camps you're so afraid of or that you've fallen victim to, or if you're even thinking about being a bit of a gate camper yourself. We'd have a look at this gate camp and I'd just talk you through what ships are in it, what their roles are, and just basically what's going on. So here we go. So we've got 13 ships in this gate camp. We've got 2 frigates, we've got 2 4-axes, we've got a Stabber Fleet issue cruiser, we've got an Agora Navy issue cruiser, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Gnosis, a Hurricane Fleet issue, and 2 Execuras to provide the logistics, i.e. the reps. And I'm pleased to say we have breezed straight through it, unlike the poor Navitas by the looks of it that came in just before us. So if we start with the most basic ships that are here, the Slasher and the 2 4-axe, pretty self-evident. I'm going to take a guess that they're probably 2 newer people in the Corp or the Alliance, and they're learning their trade. There's only one way to learn. So they're there. The Slasher can obviously get in on the tackles. We'll look at why its tackle is going to be greatly improved, even though I think it's only bonus for reduced cap use for tackle modules. And the 4-axes obviously are just their general DPS. They do have some mid slots that could have some EWA. Who knows? But yeah, nice to see some of the simpler ships getting involved. And we're going to look at the rest of the ships in size order, starting with the Tech 2 frigate, the Keres, the electronic attack ship. You can see why he's in on the gate camp. He gets bonuses to his warp, scrambler or disruptor range. Very nice bonuses, up to 75%, plus up to a 50% reduction in the capacitor cost of activating those modules. So he's there to get you tackled. Now the 2 frigates do have an issue, that once they tackle you, the gate guns are going to aggro on them, and they will hit a frigate, a destroyer or a cruiser pretty hard. One trick the frigates can employ is to get in their first tackle quickly, and when somebody else takes up the tackle they immediately warp away to more than 150 kilometers away from the gate guns. Out of their range, you can then warp straight back into the fight and the gate guns will not aggro on you again, as long as you don't go suspect by aggressing another neutral pilot. So if you just come back and attack the same ship you'd already tackled, the gate guns will leave you alone. That is a basic tactic for the tackle frigates, is to get the tackle in and get out. If you're in the cheap Slasher, it's not going to be the end of the day if it goes wrong, so it's a perfect ship to be learning in. I also think, and this segues us very nicely onto the logy, that the logy may well be pre-locked and pre-primed to get on those frigates as quickly as possible, should they need some reps so they can get out and get back. And the logy in this case is, as I said, the 2 Execuras that get very healthy boosts to their armour repair amount and ranges. So as I said, they're going to have their fleet mates pre-locked up, ready to give the reps where they're needed as they start taking damage off the gate guns, and be ready to heal up the frigates pretty damn quickly, because they're probably going to take aggro first. Exactly who gets the gate gun aggro seems to be a bit of a random science, although if I'm involved in the gate camp at all, it will normally be me. Now obviously those ships are going to give out armour repairs, and all of the ships on grid here are armour tanked, I am sure. That's what they're made for. Obviously makes sense to have a set doctrine for your tank. Don't mess about if you get invited to a fleet. Fly what you're supposed to be flying. Don't be the odd one out who turns up in a caracal. It may not be appreciated. The reason armor tank makes sense on a gate camp is it leaves all those mid slots available for EWA, whether it's direct stuff, the sensor boosters, the tracking computers, and also the remote versions, so even the logy ships and the other ships can be actually improving each other. So yeah, armor tank frees up the mid slots for more basically application, tackle, etc. Next up, we have the Augora Navy issue, a little bit of a Mar flavour. This bad boy is a very nice cruiser. I have one myself, I enjoy it. It gets bonuses to its medium energy turret damage, 25% bonus per level of a Mar cruiser, and a 10% bonus to armour hit points. Not only can this put out a lot of damage, you can brick tank this like a big bricky thing, and with some rep support, yeah, that's going to stay on grid for the duration, I should think. Very wise choice. Next cruiser, we got the Stabber fleet issue, some Minmatar. We've got bonuses to projectile turret rate of fire and tracking speed. I'm assuming this is probably fitted with artillery, and it's there to provide a big pew, quite possibly supported by his fleet mates with remote sensor boosters, remote tracking computers, so his big pew actually hits something. And the Hurricane fleet issue is basically as above, only bigger. We're into the first combat battle cruiser, so again, bonuses for projectile turret damage and the tracking speed, supported by his fleet mates, so his big artillery guns hit the target. It also has a roll bonus to its optimal range, and as it's a battle cruiser, it can fit a command burst. We'll talk more about those in a moment. Again, very valuable in a gate camp or a fleet. And last but not least, and the most popular ship on grid, there were 4 of them, the Gnosis. Now, there are 2 reasons you see this a lot in gate camps. One is basically it's bonus for any weapon system, so regardless of your training, your specialization, you can put out some decent DPS in a Gnosis. Obviously can be armor tanked, obviously that frees up all the mid slots for those kind of EWA, for the sensor boosters, remote support, whatever the FC thinks he needs to balance his little gate camp fleet. This ship has the versatility to kind of fit that niche. You've got drone damage too, so this is a great versatile ship. The one mistake people do make in a Gnosis is flying them when they've got no relevant skills, because you need such low skills to get into it. But in a gate camp situation, a very wise choice, not only because of its versatility in its fit, but because of this. Not only is the Gnosis the fastest locking battle cruiser in the game, but also, as you can see here, it's faster than the Hurricane fleet issue. It's also got a higher scan resolution stat than even the Thorax. It's 300 base for the Gnosis, 220 base for the Hurricane, and 280 base for the Thorax. So that's why you see Gnosis a lot on gate camps. They're versatile weapon wise, they can lock stuff up very quickly, get a tackle on, get the damage on, and also the battle cruisers are inherently tanky enough to handle the gate guns for at least a little while before they need some support from the logy. So the logy can focus on the smaller ships, the battle cruisers can get stuck in. There is one final thing the battle cruisers can do to contribute to this situation, and that is their command bursts. Command bursts are active high slot modules which battle cruisers can fit 1 of, and 4 that would be very useful in this situation. And we've got 5 battle cruisers, so there could be a mix of any of these depending on the FC's desire. Would be, in no particular order, the skirmish command burst, interdiction maneuvers charge, giving a 12% propulsion disruption module range, so longer range tackle. We've got the armor command burst rapid repair charge, 8% bonus to duration and capacity use of the armor repair module, so they're going to repair quicker and use less cap. Second armor command burst, armor reinforcement charge, a simple 8% extra armor for all of your fleet mates in range. And then we've got the information command burst sensor optimization, which gives a 9% bonus to scan resolution, and perhaps less importantly, a 10% bonus to targeting range. But they can all stack up with all of those bonuses we've got either on the ships, etc. So you can see that combined this produces a very, very effective fast tackle, high DPS, resilient fleet to tackle stuff on a gate where you know you're going to get gate gun aggro. And by the way, this particular gate camp was set up by a corp called Never Regret, who appeared to be a Russian low-sec corp. Very tidy, well done lads. Anyway, the last point I'm going to make is not really about the gate camp, it's about me. It's about the overview actually. Now I'm just going to point out that on screen you can see 1, 2, 3 at least flights of drones. If I was showing drones on my overview, that means 15 spaces on my overview somewhere in there would be taking up showing those drones. So that's why I don't usually have drones on my general overviews. I have a tab that will show drones, but you don't really want all that clutter. If you fly into this and you're trying to suss out what is going on and most of your screen is drones, it's not going to speed up the process. If you land in a gate camp like this and you haven't got the ability through a cloak and micro warp drive or a very fast align time to hopefully just get through it, because nothing is ever guaranteed, you might just get it wrong, who knows, then really your options are to tank it and get back to the gate if you've got possibly enough hit points to withstand the DPS coming in at you. But remember, if you shoot back, you won't be able to use the gate, so hold fire if running away is your best option. Or put up a fight, go down all guns blazing, overheated, see if you can take down their most expensive ship before you go down. I don't know, just don't give up. Keep hitting warp until you are in your pod, because they might accidentally break tackle. Accidents happen, mistakes happen. We all make them, they make them. Sometimes you could get lucky. So if you're caught in a gate camp, whether you're going to try and burn back to the gate, warp away, you know, just don't give up until you are literally in your pod. And once you're in your pod, just get out of there. I'll link a whole video at the end of this one with some hints and advice on how to stay safer when you are in transit in New Eden, relevant to this kind of a situation. So there you have it, the anatomy of a gate camp, a very nice tidy gate camp indeed. So that's it for now, guys. Short and sweet today perhaps, but I've got my voice warmed up, I've got the equipment warmed up, had to rebuild the PC, so I've been reinstalling and resetting everything for the last week. It's been a bit crazy. Anyway, leave me a like please on the video if you have found this useful and or enjoyable, hopefully a combination of both. Leave your comments down below about your gate camp experiences, either as the victim or the perpetrator. There are creator skins up for grabs. Leave your in-game name in the comment. Sub if you want to know when the next video is up, click that bell for a notification. But for now, my friends, look after yourselves and each other. Remember, even is believing, fly brave, and goodbye.